Hello friends, so today we are going to study about macros. Macros in C programming. Macro is defined, a macro is declared with the help of a preprocessor directive that is hash defined. So macro is a fragment of code which has been given a name. Objects like macro resemble data objects when used. Function like macros resembles function calls, so you may define any valid identifier as a macro if it is a C keyword. We are having a lot of predefined macros which have their own definitions. For example, we have date, time, file, line, stdc, such kind of macros which are predefined, where the date function, date macro is used to describe the current date as a character literal in MMM, DD, YY, YY format, where MMM is 3 characters, DD in 2 integer, YY, 4 integer. Overall, this is a string which is a collection of characters. Now, the time. This macro is used to provide the current time as a character literal in HHMMSS format. File. This contains the current file name as a string literal. For example, if I have a file named test.c, then when I use this predefined macro, this particular macro will print the name of the file, that is test.c. Line. This contains the current line number as a decimal constant in integer values, that is. And finally, stdc, this is defined as 1 when the compiler compiles the ANSI standard. So here this is used to provide 1 if the compiler compiles the ANSI standard. So these are all about the predefined macros. Now let's check these predefined macros with the help of a program. So here is the program showing all these predefined macros. Here I have used file macro, date macro, time macro, and line macro. All these macros are predefined, and I have called these macros inside the printf function. Since file, date, time, these all are the character literals, that is string type, and line is a integer type macro, so I have used %d over here. Now let's compile the program. It's absolutely fine. It is providing a warning since I have not mentioned any return type to the function main, but that's not the issue. Now let's run the program. Okay, now here you can check the file macro provides predef1.c as the name of the file. Date is April 25, 2017. Time 16, 27, 22. And line is 8. Now as you can see here, the name of the file is predef1.c. Date, this macro is used to provide the system date. Time is used to provide the system time, and line is used to provide the line number. This is all about the predefined macros. Now we are also having macros like functions. Like the functions, macros are also having parameter, also having arguments. So now let's check the parameterized as well as non-parameterized macros. So here in this program, I have tried to show macro as a single line statement, as a single constant, as well as a parameterized macro. So I have defined hash define max with the parameter. Here max is the macro with x and y are the parameters. You need to remember one thing, that whenever you define a name of the macro, and if you are trying to provide it certain parameters, then please do not put any kind of space between the name of the macro and the parenthesis. As you can see that I have not provided any kind of space between these two. Now max, which is the name of the macro, x and y are the two parameters. Now here x greater than y, two values. I have used the ternary operator. Whomsoever is the bigger one, whichever value is true is provided to x and rest will provide to y. So true will provide to x and false will provide to y. Another macro I have defined here, that is hash defined pi 3.14. You can see that here we need not to provide any kind of equal to or any kind of assignment sign, as well as we are not providing any kind of terminator, that is semicolon. Now when we call the main function, here I have used the printf function. Now the max between 20 and 10 is percentile d comma max. Now when this statement is compiled, so before the compilation, this max 10 comma 20, this is replaced with the definition of the macro, that is this one, x greater than y, ternary x or y. So whatever be the result of this, since here x is 10, y is 20, so max is 20, right? So this macro will provide the true conditions, so provide the true value, that is 20. So the output will be max between 20 and 10 is 20. Whereas in the second line, the printf function will print the value of pi. Now the value of pi, when this program is going to compile, before that this pi is replaced with the value defined in the macro, that is 3.14. So and as soon as this program is going to compile, this pi will replaced with 3.14 and that will print. So now let's check the output of the program. So here you can see the max between 20 and 10 is 20 and the value of pi is 3.14. So in this way we can use macros having parameters as well as macros without having any kind of parameter. So this was all about the macro. Thank you so much.